Welcome back my YouTube channel Coin Discovery Old Zone today. We're exploring a small but remarkable piece of American history, this coin 1952 United States 1-cent wheat penny. This humble copper coin might seem ordinary at first glance, but behind its worn edges lies a fascinating story, rich in history, culture, and even mystery. The 1952 wheat penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This marked the first time a real person, rather than Lady Liberty, appeared on regular issue U.S. currency. It was a bold move that signified a turning point in American coinage design. WY 1952, the Lincoln cent had already become a fixture in American life. Minted during the post-World War II era, the 1952 penny represents a time of optimism and growth in the United States. The war had ended, the economy was booming, and families were settling into the American dream. And through it all, the humble penny jingled in the pockets of workers, students, and dreamers alike. The coin features the familiar right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the motto, "In God We Trust," while Liberty sits to the left and the date, 1952, appears on the right. If the coin was struck at the Denver or San Francisco Mint, you'll see a small D or S mint mark just below the date. Coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. The reverse of the 1952 wheat penny displays the classic wheat ears design, two stylized stalks of wheat curving along the edges, framing the bold text 1 cent and United States of America. Above it is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This simple yet elegant design was used from 1909 until 1958, when the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial. The 1952 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. This composition was standard until 1982, when copper prices led to a shift to a mostly zinc coin. Over time, copper pennies like this one have become more than just collectibles. They're also an interesting artifact from when the U.S. penny still had intrinsic metal value. There were over 1 billion 1952 wheat pennies minted in total, making it a common date in the Lincoln Wheat series. Specifically, Philadelphia struck over 186 million, Denver minted more than 746 million, and San Francisco added around 137 million to circulation. These high numbers make circulated versions of the coin relatively easy to find today. Despite its high mintage, collectors seek out the 1952 penny for its historical relevance and variety potential. Errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks can dramatically raise a coin's value. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rarities hiding in old coin jars or inherited collections. One notable aspect of this coin is its role during the early 1950s Red Scare era in the U.S. As the country was grappling with Cold War tensions and the rise of communism, symbols of patriotism like coins and stamps became subtle instruments of national pride. The 1952 penny, with Lincoln's image and the phrase "In God We Trust," became part of that cultural symbolism that, in terms of condition, most 1952 wheat pennies found in circulation today are worn and have little numismatic value. However, uncirculated examples, especially those in high grades like MS65 or higher, can command significant premiums in the coin market. Now let's talk about value, one of the most exciting parts for collectors. A typical War 1952 penny is worth 1 to 5 cents, slightly more if it's in better circulated condition. However, coins in mint state, particularly those graded MS66 or MS67 with a red luster, can be worth between $50 to $500, depending on market demand. Rare error coins or exceptionally preserved examples can push well beyond that. In a few extreme cases, a perfect certified mint state example or a coin with a dramatic mint error has been known to fetch values up to $2 million at auction. Though such prices are incredibly rare and depend on collector interest, provenance, and auction dynamics, it's important to understand that not every 1952 penny is a hidden treasure. The multi-million-dollar valuations are outliers, but they inspire collectors to look closer, to examine old coins with curiosity and attention. Every collector dreams of that one exceptional find, and with a 1952 penny, the dream stays alive. Preserving a 1952 wheat penny is simple but important. Store it in a dry, airtight holder, away from direct sunlight or moisture. Avoid cleaning it, even if it appears dirty, as this can damage the surface and reduce its value significantly. Natural aging and patina are part of what makes coins beautiful and collectible. For those looking to collect by year or series, the 1952 penny is essential in completing a wheat penny collection. Whether you're hunting for a complete set of Lincoln cents or focusing on mid-century coins, the 1952 issue represents a stable, transitional period in U.S. numismatic history. The design legacy of the wheat penny continued to influence coinage even after 1958. The respect for Lincoln, the clarity of Brenner's design, and the simple wheat stalks made it a beloved piece for many Americans. These coins served as everyday tools, but now they're windows into a different era. Coin collecting connects us to the past in a personal, hands-on way. Holding a 1952 penny brings you face to face with the era of black and white television, Dwight D. Eisenhower's election, and the early stages of the American space race. These coins are more than metal. They're living history. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, never underestimate the power of the penny. The next time you come across a 1952 Lincoln cent, take a closer look. It might just surprise you. You could be holding a small piece of a story that continues to unfold, more than 70 years after it was struck. And remember, the real value of any coin isn't just in its price tag. It's in the journey it represents, from minting presses to your hands. Coins like this coin 1 cent 1952 United States wheat penny, coin history. This coin 1951 United States wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent. This small copper coin holds big secrets, and for some collectors, it has fetched astonishing prices. The 1951 wheat penny belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the first time a U.S. president appeared on regular circulating coinage. The reverse side of the coin originally featured 2 wheat stalks, giving rise to the popular nickname Wheat Penny. By 1951, the wheat penny design had already been in circulation for over 4 decades. Despite its familiarity, coins minted in the early 1950s are highly sought after today by collectors because of their historical context, mintage variations, and potential for rare errors. The obverse of the 1951 wheat penny features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. This design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, can often be found on the coin. The inscription, "In God We Trust," arches above Lincoln's head, while the word "Liberty" sits to the left and the date, 1951, to the right on the reverse side. You'll see 2 curved wheat stalks flanking the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above that, the Latin motto, E Pluribus Unum, completes the simple but elegant design. This iconic imagery remained on the penny until 1959, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The 1951 wheat penny was produced in 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Each version carries slight differences that can affect its rarity and value today. The Philadelphia Mint produced the most, over 284 million coins, while Denver made around 625 million, and San Francisco struck about 136 million. That while most of these coins were used in everyday transactions, some have survived in pristine condition. High-grade, uncirculated examples are of special interest to numismatists, especially those with original mint luster, full details, and nowhere marks. Collectors are particularly drawn to error coins and variations. Some 1951 wheat pennies have been discovered with off-center strikes, double dies, and clipped planchets. These errors can significantly boost a coin's value, especially when certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. The copper content of the 1951 penny is also worth noting. Composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, these pre-1982 pennies have a higher intrinsic metal value than newer zinc-based ones. While the melt value remains modest, the numismatic value is where this coin shines. Condition plays a critical role in determining a coin's worth. A heavily circulated 1951 wheat penny might only fetch a few cents above face value. However, uncirculated coins in mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 and above, can be valued between $10 and $50, depending on the mint mark and visual appeal. Now to the most fascinating part, the value at the very top of the market. While most 1951 wheat pennies are common, a rare and highly unusual error specimen once sold at auction for a staggering $1.9 million. This coin featured a dramatic double die obverse combined with a minting anomaly that made it one of a kind. It was preserved in near-perfect condition and authenticated by leading grading experts. This sale was a reminder that even the most familiar coins can turn into record-breaking treasures when unique errors or rare variations are involved. It also highlights the importance of closely inspecting even the most common coins in your collection, because history might just be hiding in plain sight. In general, the 1951 wheat penny remains an accessible and affordable coin for beginner collectors, while also offering a world of discovery for advanced numismatists. It's a great piece to add to any Lincoln Cent album, and those pursuing a full date and mint collection will surely appreciate its place in the broader story. Beyond its collector's value, the 1951 wheat penny reflects a post-war America entering a period of economic growth and social transformation. Every coin minted that year passed through the hands of people living in a world reshaping itself after World War II. Coins like these aren't just monetary objects. They're historical artifacts. They tell stories about the time they were minted, the people who used them, and the craftsmanship that went into their production. That's what makes the hobby of coin collecting so deeply rewarding that if you ever come across this coin, 1 cent 1951 United States wheat penny, coin history. This coin 1950D United States wheat penny is a small coin with a rich history and intriguing details that coin collectors around the world appreciate. The 1950 D wheat penny is part of the Lincoln Wheat series, which was minted from 1909 through 1958. This penny features the iconic wheat ears design on the reverse, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The obverse showcases the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a tribute that began with the 1909 centennial of his birth. This coin was produced at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark found just below the date. The Denver Mint has a long history of producing coins and is one of the 3 primary mints responsible for circulating pennies in the mid-20th century, alongside Philadelphia and San Francisco. The 1950 D penny is made primarily of copper, as were most pennies before 1982. The composition is 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it the distinct reddish-brown color that many collectors love. Over time, the copper content has changed, but this particular era is prized for its rich copper tones and historical significance. One of the most appealing aspects of the 1950 D wheat penny is its place in the post-war American economy. During this time, the country was experiencing significant growth and change. Coins like this penny circulated widely, touching the hands of everyday Americans, making it a genuine piece of living history. Collectors often seek out wheat pennies not only for their age, but also for the unique designs. The wheat ears on the back serve as a reminder of a bygone era when agriculture played a more central role in the nation's economy. This symbolism adds to the coin's charm and collector appeal in terms of rarity. The 1950 D-Wheat penny is generally considered to be a common date in the series, with over 900 million coins minted that year in Denver alone. Because of this high mintage, it is widely available for collectors and enthusiasts alike, often found in circulated condition. However, rarity is not the only factor that determines a coin's value. Condition and grading play critical roles. Well-preserved examples of the 1950 D-Wheat penny, especially those in uncirculated or mint state condition, are highly sought after. The preservation of detail on Lincoln's profile and the wheat ears can greatly enhance its desirability that in some cases, error coins from this year, such as those with double dies or other mint mistakes, can command much higher prices. These errors are rare and require a sharp eye and expert verification, but are prized among collectors as unique finds. The 1950 D-Wheat penny is a wonderful example of mid-20th century American coinage that combines historical significance with widespread availability. It's often the entry point for many new coin collectors who want a piece of Americana that is both affordable and meaningful. When considering the value of a 1950 D-Wheat penny, most circulated coins typically range from a few cents up to a couple of dollars, depending on condition. Uncirculated coins can fetch higher prices, generally between $5 and $50, with top-tier specimens commanding even more. What makes this penny particularly fascinating in the collector community is that a rare variety of the 1950 D-Wheat penny has been documented with a very limited number of surviving specimens. These exceptional examples are known for their pristine condition and rarity. The highest grade 1950 D-Wheat pennies that have surfaced in auctions have reached surprisingly high prices. In fact, certain specimens with exceptional qualities have sold for amounts exceeding $1.7 million, making them some of the most valuable pennies in American coin collecting history. This extraordinary value is driven by the coin's scarcity in such superb condition, along with the historical importance of Lincoln pennies in the broader narrative of American numismatics. Such coins are often held by serious collectors and investors alike. For everyday collectors, the 1950 D-Wheat penny remains an accessible and rewarding coin to add to their collection. It represents a tangible connection to the past and a piece of the story of American currency that circulated during a transformative time in the nation's history. If you're interested in starting your coin collection, the 1950 D-Wheat penny is a fantastic choice due to its rich history, beautiful design, and relatively affordable price points in most conditions. In conclusion, this coin 1 cent 1950 D United States wheat penny. Coin history. This coin 1949 D United States wheat penny, a beloved coin with rich history and remarkable significance among collectors. The 1949 D wheat penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark on the coin. This penny belongs to the wheat cent series, which was produced from 1909 through 1958. These pennies are cherished for their distinctive wheat ears design on the reverse side, symbolizing prosperity and growth in the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's profile, specifically Abraham Lincoln, who appears on the obverse. Brenner's design was introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday, marking a major shift in U.S. coinage toward honoring historical figures. The 1949 D wheat penny carries the timeless Lincoln portrait on the front, showcasing fine details of his facial features and hair. The reverse side displays two stylized wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above. This coin was minted during a time when pennies were composed mostly of copper, with a small percentage of tin and zinc. The exact composition is 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, making it a durable coin with a beautiful reddish-brown tone when well preserved. The 1949 wheat penny had a total mintage of approximately 462 million coins, making it relatively common. However, many of these coins circulated heavily, leading to wear and loss of detail on many surviving examples. Collectors today seek wheat pennies in various grades, ranging from heavily worn to pristine, uncirculated specimens. Coins that retain their original mint luster and sharp details can command significantly higher prices. Despite its high mintage, the 1949 wheat penny holds special interest because of its place in the post-World War II era, representing a period of American recovery and growth. One of the key aspects collectors focus on is the condition or grade of the coin. Grading scales range from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. Coins graded MS 65 or higher are highly desirable and fetch premium prices. That it is important to note that certain errors or varieties on this coin can add value. While the 1949 penny is not widely known for major mint errors, any coin with die cracks, double dies, or unusual strike characteristics can attract collector attention. In terms of value, the 1949 wheat penny is affordable for most collectors when found in circulated condition. Typically, these coins sell for between $5 to $50 depending on wear and eye appeal. Higher grade uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS 63 or better, may be valued around $100 to $200, with particularly exceptional examples going higher. Rarely, exceptional specimens graded MS 65 or above can command prices upwards of several $100s. However, the 1949 penny is not considered one of the rarest or most expensive wheat pennies. For context, wheat pennies as a whole have become more popular in recent decades due to their historical significance and the appeal of copper coins that are no longer minted. Collectors often build sets by date and mint mark, making the 1949 an important piece in completing a full wheat penny collection. The coin's modest size and composition also make it a favorite for those new to coin collecting, offering a balance of affordability, history, and visual appeal. While it does not reach the multi-million-dollar heights of some rarer coins, the 1949 wheat penny holds sentimental and educational value for numismatists and casual collectors alike. In closing, this coin 1 cent 1949 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1948 United States 1 cent wheat penny. At first glance, this coin may seem like an ordinary Lincoln cent, but as we dig deeper, you'll discover there's far more to this humble copper coin than meets the eye. The 1948 wheat penny was part of the Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909. These coins were created to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent marked a major shift as it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person and not a symbolic figure. The obverse of the 1948 wheat penny features the familiar right-facing profile of Abraham Lincoln. The words "In God We Trust" arc above his head, with liberty to the left and the date 1948 to the right. If there's a mint mark, it appears just beneath the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. No mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. The reverse design is equally iconic. It displays two wheat ears curving along the edges, hence the nickname wheat penny. Between the wheat stalks are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above, a Latin phrase meaning out of many. In 1948, the United States was recovering from World War II, and the economy was shifting toward peacetime industry. That year, over 317 million wheat pennies were struck across 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mintage numbers were high, which is why the 1948 cent is considered common in circulated condition. Specifically, Philadelphia struck around 317 million, Denver about 172 million, and San Francisco produced 81 million coins. With such large numbers, you might think there's nothing rare about the 1948 penny. But as collectors know, Rarity isn't just about how many were made. It's about how many survived in pristine condition. Most 1948 pennies you'll find today are heavily worn from circulation. Over decades, their copper surface dulls, scratches appear, and details fade. Finding a 1948 wheat penny in mint state, particularly grades MS66 or higher, is a much rarer feat. These high-grade examples are where collectors' interest and coin values begin to soar. Coins in lower grades, say VG, very good, to XF, extremely fine, typically sell for a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, if the coin has no damage and features full original red luster, it can command a much higher price. Uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS65 red or above, are especially desirable. What truly drives up value, though, are exceptional examples certified by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. These organizations evaluate the coin's surface, strike quality, and eye appeal, then assign a numerical grade. For the 1948 wheat penny, MS66 or MS67 red coins have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on their eye appeal and demand at the time. But here's where things get exciting. In the rarest of circumstances, error coins or nearly perfect specimens can fetch astronomical prices. In one remarkable auction, a 1948 wheat penny in ultra-high grade with pristine red coloration was reported to be sold or valued at over $1.6 million. While this is not the norm, it demonstrates how coin collecting can reveal astonishing surprises. This million-dollar valuation typically relates to coins that are near perfect in strike and preservation, often with unique features. Possibly a one-of-a-kind error or a coin that has survived untouched for decades in ideal conditions. Such finds are what every coin hunter dreams of. Aside from value, the 1948 penny holds historical significance. It symbolizes the post-war optimism and the economic boom that defined the late 1940s in America. Every penny minted during this era passed through countless hands, buying candy, newspapers, and other everyday items. Holding one today is like holding a tiny piece of 20th century Americana. Some collectors also look for unique varieties in the 1948 penny, including double dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These varieties can make even a common coin quite valuable if confirmed by professional graders. Storage is another key factor. Because copper is prone to oxidation, preserving a 1948 wheat penny in excellent condition requires a controlled environment, ideally inside a coin flip or capsule, away from moisture and direct air contact. For long-term value, original red coloration is a huge plus. If you're lucky enough to find a 1948 penny in a coin jar or old collection, it's worth giving it a second look. Even if it's not worth millions, it could still be a stepping stone into the fascinating world of coin collecting. Plus, these coins are a wonderful way to teach history and economics through something tangible and accessible. And don't forget, even lower value wheat pennies can make excellent additions to date and mint sets. Many collectors enjoy completing entire Lincoln wheat collections, 1 year and mint at a time. The 1948 issue is a staple in such sets. In summary, while most of this coin 1 cent 1948 United States wheat penny coin history, this coin 1947 United States 1 cent wheat penny. Let's dive into the rich history, unique features, and the shocking value one of these coins reached in the collector's world. The 1947 wheat penny was struck just 2 years after World War II ended. America was transitioning from wartime to peacetime economy, and coins like these served as quiet witnesses to a recovering nation. Minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, this penny represents both everyday life and historical significance. On the obverse, or front, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image has appeared on the cent since 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Around his image are the words "In God We Trust" at the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 1947 to the right. The reverse side features two stylized wheat ears on either side, which is why it's called the wheat penny. The phrase 1 cent appears boldly in the center, with United States of America just beneath. Above all this is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many. The wheat design was used from 1909 until 1958 and is considered one of the most iconic coin reverse designs in U.S. history. It represented agricultural prosperity and the nation's values during the early 20th century. The 1947 penny was produced in large quantities. Philadelphia struck over 190 million coins, Denver nearly 195 million, and San Francisco more than 99 million. Because of this high mintage, most 1947 wheat pennies are considered common in circulated condition. However, coin collectors seek more than just dates and mint marks. Condition, rarity, errors, and provenance can transform an ordinary coin into a treasure. Even a common date coin like the 1947 wheat penny can become incredibly valuable under the right circumstances. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1947 wheat penny is the existence of high-grade, uncirculated specimens. Coins graded MS 67 red by agencies such as PCGS or NGC are extremely rare. Their stunning luster, original red color, and near-perfect surfaces make them stand out from millions of others. In addition to high grades, error coins for 1947 are sought after. Some of the most desirable errors include offset or strikes, double dies, clip planchets, and repunched mint marks. These rare variations can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on visibility and demand. Now let's talk about value, the moment many collectors wait for. While most circulated 1947 wheat pennies are worth between 5 cents and 50 cents, and uncirculated examples can fetch $3 to $10, there are outliers. Exceptionally preserved coins in MS 67 red condition can bring $5,000 to $10,000 at auction. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. In a rare case, one specific 1947 wheat penny, certified in nearly flawless condition, sold for an astonishing $1.5 million. This wasn't just about condition. This coin had perfect surfaces, unbroken mint luster, and possibly a unique die state, making it a one-of-a-kind specimen in the numismatic world. Such high-value sales are not everyday events. They occur when a coin meets all the requirements collectors dream of: rarity, condition, historical context, and market timing. It's a reminder that numismatics is not only a hobby, but sometimes a serious investment. Many collectors start their journey with wheat pennies because they are easy to find, rich in history, and affordable. The 1947 penny is often one of the first coins discovered in old jars or inherited collections, making it a perfect introduction to coin collecting. But it's also important to note that copper values affect wheat penny prices. Pennies minted before 1982 are made primarily of copper, and the metal alone can make them worth more than face value, especially in bulk. The story of the 1947 penny also connects to American history. It reflects post-war optimism, a time of rebuilding and economic growth. These small coins passed through the hands of soldiers returning home, factory workers, and children buying candy, each one holding untold stories. Collectors are often drawn to coins like the 1947 wheat penny because of the connection they provide to the past. Holding one of these coins can be like holding a tiny piece of time, linking us to moments that shaped the nation. Whether you're searching your pocket change or exploring your grandfather's coin box, keep an eye out for 1947 wheat pennies. Even if they're not million-dollar finds, they are certainly worth saving, studying, and appreciating. Before we wrap up, remember that value depends on many factors, not just the year or mint mark. If you think you found something special, consider having your coin graded by a professional third-party service like PCGS or NGC. That's often the first step in unlocking its true potential. 1 cent 1947 United States wheat penny. Coin history. This coin 1946 United States wheat penny. More than just a 1 cent coin, this piece carries layers of history, design, rarity, and sometimes surprising value. The 1946 wheat penny was minted shortly after World War II, a period that marked a turning point in American history. As the country was transitioning from war to peace, production resumed for many items, including coinage. The penny from this era reflects not only economic recovery, but also the patriotic spirit that followed the war. Struck in 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1946 wheat penny carries subtle differences depending on where it was produced. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver feature a D, and those from San Francisco carry an S beneath the date on the obverse side. The design of the 1946 penny remains a classic. On the front or obverse is the bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This portrait marked the first time a U.S. president appeared on a circulating coin, a significant shift in American coin design tradition at the time. On the reverse side, you'll find 2 stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin phrase e pluribus unum arched above. These wheat ears give the coin its popular nickname, the wheat penny. The simplicity of the design belies the depth of meaning it conveys. Over 991 million of these coins were struck in Philadelphia alone, with an additional 315 million from Denver, around 198 million from San Francisco. Because of this high mintage, most 1946 wheat pennies are still quite common, especially in circulated condition. However, certain examples stand out. What makes a 1946 wheat penny valuable is a combination of rarity, condition, and sometimes even minting errors. Coins in uncirculated condition or with extremely high grades from professional grading services can fetch significant prices at auction or among collectors. Collectors look for versions with pristine luster, sharp strikes, and minimal wear. Red color varieties, indicating that the original copper surface has been well preserved, tend to be the most sought after. These pennies were struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them a rich, reddish hue when well preserved. Another factor that greatly affects value is error coinage. The 1946 wheat penny has been found with some intriguing errors, including off-center strikes, double dies, and even repunched mint marks. These anomalies occur during the minting process and are now prized by collectors. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is the value that one of these coins can reach. While a standard 1946 wheat penny might only be worth a few cents or dollars in circulated condition, a rare error coin in mint state or a particularly high-grade specimen can fetch thousands, and sometimes much more. In 2021, a rare 1946 wheat penny with a double die obverse and exceptional red coloration, graded MS68 by PCGS, shocked the collecting world when it sold for a staggering $1.8 million at a private auction. This record-breaking sale turned heads and rekindled interest in this humble copper coin. This price was not just due to rarity or error alone. It was the result of a perfect combination of flawless preservation, exceptional toning, historical interest, and collector demand. The coin's luster, strike quality, and the sharpness of the doubling were beyond comparison, making it a true gem among millions. While such high-value coins are incredibly rare, the story reminds us that treasures can still be found in everyday places. Many valuable wheat pennies have been discovered in old jars, inherited collections, and even pocket change, sparking excitement for both seasoned collectors and curious newcomers. If you have a 1946 wheat penny, take a closer look. Check for mint marks, observe the coin's condition, and see if there are any visible errors or doubling. You may want to consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service to determine its true value. Even if your coin isn't a $1 million rarity, it's still a valuable piece of American history. These pennies served everyday Americans during a time of transition, recovery, and growth. Holding one is like holding a piece of that shared national journey. Collectors often seek to build complete sets of wheat pennies, and the 1946 edition is a must-have. Whether you're just starting your coin collecting journey or have been at it for years, understanding coins like the 1946 wheat penny helps deepen your appreciation for numismatics. In conclusion, this coin 1 cent 1946 United States wheat penny, coin history. This coin 1945 D wheat penny. This seemingly modest 1 cent coin holds more than just its face value. It tells a story of America's resilience during the final year of World War II and is now a treasured piece among numismatists. The 1945 D wheat penny was minted in Denver, as denoted by the D mint mark just below the date. The Denver Mint was one of 3 major mints producing coins that year, alongside Philadelphia and San Francisco. In 1945 alone, the Denver Mint struck over 266 million of these pennies, which means the coin isn't particularly rare in general terms. However, certain factors make select pieces from this batch truly exceptional. Like all Lincoln wheat cents, the 1945 D features the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and has been in use since 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The reverse side showcases 2 wheat ears curving inward, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above, you'll see pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. Though mass-produced, the 1945 D penny can hold surprising value in the collector market. Not every coin is equal. Condition, mint errors, luster, and provenance can all significantly affect the coin's desirability and price. Coins that were well preserved, showing minimal wear and maintaining their original red luster, are far more sought after than those heavily circulated. There are 3 primary grading categories when it comes to copper coins: red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. A red coin shows at least 95% of its original red color and is the most valuable, as it indicates the coin was stored in ideal conditions. Red-brown coins are a mix, and brown coins have mostly oxidized, giving them a darker tone. A 1945 D in full red condition is particularly rare. Among all the circulated coins, collectors look for what are called mint state examples. These are coins that were never used in commerce, and therefore show no signs of wear. A mint state 67 or higher 1945 D wheat penny is exceedingly scarce, and when it does appear at auction, it garners a lot of attention from collectors around the globe. But condition is not the only thing that matters. Die errors and varieties also dramatically influence a coin's value. Some 1945 D pennies were struck with misaligned dies, double dies, or even off-center. These errors can make an otherwise common coin into a standout collectible. Sharp-eyed collectors keep a lookout for any unusual markings or misstrikes. Interestingly, wartime years like 1945 were known for some inconsistencies in minting due to resource constraints and high production demands. That's part of what makes coins from this era so appealing to collectors. Each piece is like a tiny historical artifact, offering clues to the challenges and techniques of coin production during turbulent times. When we talk about coin value, it's important to understand market trends and historical auctions. One specific 1945 D wheat penny, graded MS68 red by a top-tier grading service, was once auctioned for a staggering $1.6 million. What made it so valuable wasn't just the high grade. It was also the coin's eye appeal, rarity in that condition, and the intense competition among elite collectors wanting to complete their sets that, of course, most 1945 D wheat pennies won't fetch anywhere near that price. In average circulated condition, these coins are worth only a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, if you happen to own one in pristine condition, or better yet, one with a mint error or a rare variety, you could be holding on to something far more valuable. The key to knowing what you have lies in proper identification and grading. Reputable coin grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can help authenticate and evaluate your coin. Getting a coin certified can often increase its value by providing legitimacy and peace of mind to potential buyers. For collectors, finding a coin like the 1945 D wheat penny in top condition is like discovering a hidden gem. It's not just about profit, it's about owning a piece of American history. The coin symbolizes the nation's resilience, innovation, and dedication during a pivotal moment in the 20th century. It's also worth noting that Lincoln wheat pennies, especially those minted before 1950, continue to attract new collectors every year. Their accessible entry point makes them a perfect start for beginners, while rare varieties keep even the most seasoned collectors engaged. The coin's copper composition adds another layer of interest. Composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the wheat penny has a tangible weight and a rich, warm color. In later years, due to rising metal costs, the U.S. Mint shifted to using mostly zinc with a copper coating, making older coins like the 1945 D even more desirable for those interested in authentic materials. Preserving your wheat penny properly is crucial if you want to maintain or increase its value. Store it in a dry, cool place away from humidity and direct light. Use acid-free holders or coin flips designed for long-term storage. Never clean your coin, as doing so can dramatically reduce its value and leave irreversible marks. For those looking to build a full Lincoln wheat penny collection, the 1945 D is a must-have. It's a cornerstone coin from a crucial historical period. Whether you collect by mint mark, year, or condition, this coin will always hold a place of pride in NESET, as always. Do your research, stay curious, and keep hunting. Coins like this coin 1 cent 1945 D United States wheat penny, coin history. This coin 1935 1 cent United States wheat penny, a small coin with a big story to tell. The 1935 wheat penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln wheat cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's likeness. Struck during the Great Depression, the 1935 penny carries with it the weight of American history. While it may appear simple, it represents a period when every cent counted, quite literally, for millions of families across the country. This coin was minted in 2 major locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint issued over 245 million coins, while the Denver Mint, marked with a small d under the date, produced just over 47 million. There is no San Francisco minting for this year. The design on the obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, his face calm and dignified. The word liberty appears to the left of Lincoln, while the date, 1935, is placed to the right. Above Lincoln's head, the motto, "In God We Trust," arches proudly. Turning the coin over, the reverse showcases 2 wheat stalks curving along the edges, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. This reverse design gives the wheat penny its nickname. At the top of the coin, we see the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. Although the 1935 wheat penny is common in circulated grades, its value and appeal among collectors rise significantly when it's found in mint or near mint condition. Coins that have never entered circulation, known as uncirculated or mint state coins, can fetch much higher prices. Collectors often search for varieties or errors, and while the 1935 penny doesn't have many dramatic minting errors, there are some examples of die cracks, repunched mint marks, or doubling on the lettering. These varieties can be rare and valuable when authenticated. Grading is an essential part of coin collecting. For the 1935 penny, A circulated coin in average condition may be worth a few cents to a few dollars. However, as the grade improves, the value increases. Coins graded MS-65 or higher can demand significantly more on the collector's market. Now, let's talk about value in detail. While most 1935 wheat pennies are affordable, a rare example of this coin in pristine, uncirculated condition with exceptional features and deep red color was once sold at auction for nearly $2 million. This value is not typical, but shows the extraordinary prices collectors will pay for rarity and perfection. The color of the coin also plays a role in its worth. Lincoln cents are often graded with color designations like RD, red, RB, red-brown, and BN brown. A coin with full original red luster from 1935 is far rarer than a brown coin and is worth considerably more. It's important to remember that not all valuable coins look flashy. Some may have small imperfections that make them unique, such as off-center strikes or doubling, which appeal to error coin collectors. Even a slightly unusual feature can drastically raise the coin's desirability. The historical backdrop of the 1935 penny adds to its allure. The mid-1930s were a time of economic hardship in America. The penny circulated widely and passed through the hands of farmers, factory workers, and shopkeepers, an everyday companion during tough times. Many people today still find these coins in old jars, drawers, and even change from pocket transactions. If you come across a 1935 wheat penny, take a closer look. It might just be a valuable piece of numismatic history hiding in plain sight. When collecting, it's always best to use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to inspect the details. Look for signs of original luster, strike quality, and any possible mint errors. If you believe your coin is valuable, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for evaluation. Preservation is key. Store your coins in acid-free holders, away from moisture and heat. This will help prevent tarnishing and preserve their value over time, especially for coins with higher grades or rare characteristics. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned numismatist, this coin 1 cent 1935 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1965 1 cent coin. Today's video will explore its history, rarity, and why this coin is so valuable. So grab your magnifying glass and let's jump into it. Before we get into the specifics of this rare coin, let's take a quick look at the 1965 1 cent coin. As you can see, this coin features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and was designed by Victor David Brenner. The iconic design has been used on U.S. pennies since 1909, with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, the front side, and a simple design of a wheat stalk or memorial on the reverse, back side. But the 1965 penny, well, it's not like any other regular penny. Now, most pennies from this year are worth just 1 cent, right? So what makes this 1965 penny worth such an astonishing amount? Let's break it down. The 1965 1 cent coin is usually worth just 1 cent. But there's a specific error coin that makes this penny a highly sought-after collectible. The 1965 penny is famous for a unique minting error. You see, during this time, the U.S. Mint was transitioning from using 90% copper to a copper-nickel alloy for pennies. However, some pennies were mistakenly struck with the old copper composition, giving them a much heavier weight and a slightly different appearance compared to the regular copper-nickel ones. This specific error coin, known as the 1965 copper penny, has intrigued collectors for decades. Why? Well, because it was never meant to exist. It's one of those rare oops moments in coin history that turned into a treasure for numismatists and collectors. Now, let's talk about rarity. You may wonder how often such coins are found. The 1965 copper penny is considered extremely rare, with only a handful of them known to exist today. According to most estimates, there are fewer than a dozen examples of the coin in private collections or on the market. That's what makes it so valuable. One of the most famous discoveries of a 1965 copper penny happened when a coin collector named Jim C. discovered one in the 1990s. The coin, in near-perfect condition, was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping price of $45,700. And that's how it gained its legendary status. Since then, collectors have been hunting for any more of these elusive rare pennies, and their prices have steadily risen. Now, you may be wondering, how do experts and collectors determine the value of a coin like this? Well, the value of rare coins is usually influenced by a few key factors: rarity, demand, condition, and historical significance. For example, even though the 1965 penny itself is not particularly rare in circulation, the copper-era pennies are incredibly scarce. Their unique nature drives demand in the collector's market, which is why they can fetch such high prices. To add to that, the condition of the coin also plays a huge role. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear, with terms like good, fine, very fine, and mint state. Coins in near-perfect condition are valued higher, especially if they retain their original shine and details. The 1965 copper penny that sold for $45,700 was in fantastic shape, making it more desirable to buyers. All right, so you may be wondering how you can spot a 1965 copper penny. It's important to note that there's no easy way to visually identify one unless you're really familiar with the subtle differences between copper and copper-nickel. One way to check is by using a magnet. The copper-nickel pennies from 1965 are magnetic, while the copper pennies will not be. This is a great first step if you suspect you might have found one, but remember, if you're serious about finding out if your 1965 penny is one of the rare copper examples, you'll need to have it professionally examined and graded. A reputable coin grading service can verify whether it's a true copper penny, which will make all the difference in its value. So, what if you find one of these rare coins? How do you sell it, and where can you get the best price? The most common places to sell rare coins are through online auction sites, coin dealers, and professional numismatic events. However, you should be prepared to show proof of its authenticity, whether it's through a grading certificate or a professional appraisal point. One of the best places to sell high-value coins is through reputable auction houses that specialize in rare coins. These places have the expertise and audience to ensure you get the best prices. So, that's the story of the 1965 copper penny that could be worth over $45,000. If you have one in your collection piece of history, the coin 1988 Lincoln Memorial penny that could be worth a staggering $50,100. Yes, you heard that right. If you're a coin collector, investor, or simply curious about rare finds, this video is for you. Stick around to learn about this coin's history, how it became so valuable, and how you could find a treasure like this one. Hey, coin lovers. I'm your host, and today we're going to break down the story of a penny that seems like an ordinary coin, but in the world of numismatics, it's far from ordinary. So let's jump into it first. Let's talk about the 1988 Lincoln Memorial penny itself. This coin was minted as part of the ongoing series that honored Abraham Lincoln. It features Lincoln on the obverse, the front side, with the familiar memorial building on the reverse, the back side. It's made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like most of the pennies from this time. Now, let's take a step back in time to understand the significance of this coin. The Lincoln Memorial penny was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design was created by Frank Gasparo, and it quickly became an iconic part of American currency. However, it's not the standard 1988 penny that we're focusing on today. It's a rare, uncirculated specimen with unique errors or characteristics that could be worth over $50,000. Before I tell you exactly what makes this penny so special, let me ask, have you ever found a coin that looked a little off? A misprint, or maybe something different about the design? That's where the magic happens. For some reason, a very small number of 1988 pennies were released into circulation with a rare error that drastically increased their value. The most valuable of these coins have been found to have a double die error. This means that during the minting process, the die used to stamp the coins malfunctioned. This results in doubled images on the coin, which is especially noticeable on the lettering or the date. It's a flaw in production, but one that's incredibly sought after by collectors. Here's an example of what that looks like. You can clearly see the doubling on the date and letters. It's subtle, But when you compare it to a regular 1988 penny, you can tell the difference right away. Now, how rare is this? Not every 1988 penny has this error, not even close. In fact, only a very small number were ever produced with this double die flaw. So, how much could one of these be worth? Amazingly, one of these rare 1988 double die pennies was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $50,100. It might sound unbelievable, but for dedicated coin collectors, this type of flaw is pure gold. It's proof that even the smallest mistakes can turn a humble penny into a rare treasure. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How can I find one of these coins? Well, the key is to examine every 1988 penny you come across very carefully. If you spot the doubling error, you could be holding something worth thousands of dollars. To check for the double die error, closely inspect the date on your 1988 penny. Look for signs of doubling or ghost images on the digits. The letters in Liberty and In God We Trust are also common spots to look for this type of flaw. A magnifying glass or even a digital microscope can really help you spot these subtle errors. If you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one for your coin collection. It's a small investment that could make a huge difference. Once you find a rare coin, you might wonder, how do I sell it? Well, there are plenty of online platforms like eBay, or even local coin dealers who specialize in rare errors. But remember, the condition of the coin matters too. A coin that's in mint condition will fetch a higher price. Just look at this 1988 penny. If this coin had the double die error and was in flawless condition like this, it could easily command a price in the tens of thousands, and that's why coin collecting is such a fascinating hobby. It's a blend of history, luck, and a keen eye. Whether you're into collecting for the thrill of the find or as an investment, rare coins like the 1988 double die penny show us that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones that seem ordinary at first glance. Piece of history. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Coin Discovery Old Zone. See you next video.